Ha ha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Listen, I was wrong. I assumed that the XRPL smart contracts would be EVM. They're not. XLS 101 is native Wasm at the layer one, designed for payments. I want to say this the right way. It's payments grade speed and developer sanity. That, my friends, is the key. Designed for payments grade speed and developer sanity. Today, we'll break what this means for builders, institutions, the Ripple dollar, and Ripple Prime without turning the XRPL into a gas war. This is big. I was wrong. I thought it was going to be some other kind of thing. It is not. It's going to be a native XRPL feature. This is going to be massive for the XRPL. It's going to be massive for the XRPL. So, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you guys checking in. Happy Friday. I don't know why my eye keep watering. Somebody knows. Let me know why my eye keeps watering. This is going to be massive for the XRPL. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Listen, Bitcoin got over 92,000 here in pretty short order. I believe it got as high as $92,600. That's really, really good. Got a little bit of a pullback going on right now. It's under 92, but I think this is healthy. I think we're going to get the impulse wave that we need. Then you kind of throw in the background, the Fed injecting liquidity, SFR doing its thing, uh, the move that the current administration is looking to do in terms of liquidity, taking it out of the hands of the Fed and putting it at the Treasury. Yeah, so 2026 looking like it's going to be very, very cool. And yeah, really, really excited about that. The bigger picture, I hope you're paying attention to the macro. It's important that you understand the macro for sure. Thank God for Rob Paul and Julian Patel and all the people, folks over at Real Vision to help us get the bigger picture, help us, us little retail folks to get the bigger picture. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way in. That would be awesome. We really appreciate that. We always like to have just as many likes on the streams as we have viewers in the stream. So appreciate you smashing the like button. This is an interesting deal. I had a little back and forth with my partner in crime about this XLS 101. This is gonna be, it's a proposal. It's in testing, alpha testing. Um, but this is going to be massive for the XRPL. They figured out a way to add measured programmability to the XRPL without harming the monster that the XRPL is. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. And so, yeah, this is good. That part, and we're going to go over it, but the part about the developer friendly nuance to it, I think is massive. So appreciate you guys being here. Again, Bitcoin at one time was over 92,600 bucks this morning. It's just under 92 now. It's looking like, if you look at the chart, just looking like, I know it's reflexive, but it's looking like um, we're going to get that impulse wave that we need. It's no guarantees, but that's what it's looking like. Again, I'm looking at the bigger picture outside of just crypto and looking at the macro. It looks like we're going to get this liquidity for sure. It's going to be interesting to see if current administration is going to try to do some kind of Christmas. I wouldn't put it past them trying to do some Christmas gift thing in terms of liquidity. I really would not put it past them to get that going. So again, appreciate you guys checking in. Let me make sure this chat is up to date. It is uploading. Appreciate you guys being here. Let me see, make sure I got this thing up. Yep, there it is. Let's share a little bit. Share, that's fair. I won't be in here long, 35 minutes or so, but I wanted to kind of share this with you guys. So I said, awesome. Can you look into this Ripple proposal from Ripple XDev and the developer team at Ripple? It's called XLS 101. It's a smart contract feature, non-EVM based, solely for the XRPL. Can you find that? Go through that, dissect that, and tell me what you think that could mean for the XRPL going forward. Again, this is just a proposal and it's an alpha testing. Now, um, I had asked Mayuka from over at Ripple X Dev, um, is this, she said, reminder, XLS 101 smart contracts are not EVM based. She said this on the X thing, and I was like, it's not. And I said, is this just a proposal? Is just a proposal, or is it live? And she said, proposal. It's in its early alpha testing right now. But I did not know that. So anyway, maybe I should have known, but I did not know that the smart contract thing they were looking to do was that. So it's non-EVM based. I think it's important. It's XRPL focused, and I think that's great. So you heard my prompt to ChatGPT. Says you're spot on. XLS 101 is Ripple X's proposal to add native non-EVM smart contracts to the XRPL at the layer one level. It's early, but the spec is already pretty detailed. What XLS 101 actually proposes is L1 smart contracts, Wasm based, non EVM. Contracts live on the XRPL itself, not the EVM sidechain. Compiled to Wasm and interact with the XRPL's native primitives. Solidity isn't the priority. Rust is intended to work. So any language compiling to Wasm. So that's good. Pseudo accounts host contracts. Contracts are installed on special pseudo accounts. No private keys exist. Defined separately in XLS-64D, this avoids key custody issues and fits the XRPL's account model. New transaction types plus on-chain ABI plus events. The spec adds transactions like contracts and contract calls, contract create, contract call, on-chain ABI discoverability by way of a contract, info, RPC, and event emissions, right? This is dev talk. To make tooling and indexing practical, limit fees are UNL votable like today's fee parameters. XRPL first design, in parentheses, not a port of EVM. So contracts emit XRPL transactions to touch native features, the DEX, the AMM, escrows, IOUs, the multi-purpose tokens, keeping the XRPL's human readable transactions and minimizing bloat versus copy pasting ERC style contracts. So that's very, very good. This is going to turn that monster that is the XRPL to super monster. It says status. It's in standard proposal under discussion with XRPL smart contracts available to test on AlphaNet per recent dev posts. It's not a past mainnet amendment yet. So important. Let me see if some more people checked in before I compare how it works or compares to hooks or EVM stuff. No one in chat yet is showing. I don't know why the chat's not updating. Appreciate you guys checking in and let me know that you're here, saying, hey, I would appreciate that for sure. So that's really good. How it compares versus hooks, a similar philosophy, but XLS 101 switches to pseudo accounts and a contract call trigger model. It also formalizes events and on-chain ABI. Versus the EVM, XLS 101 is native L1, not L2. You can't just drop EVM bytecode in. Porting would require compiling to Wasm or using translators, concepts like addresses and token standards. It doesn't one-to-one map. So what this could mean what this could mean for the XRPL if adopted, if it passes. Programmable finance on native rails. You'd get on-ledger contracts that can directly orchestrate XRPL AMM, the DEX, escrows, IOUs, and MTTs without bridging to the EVM. Important, massively important. That's our ideal for things like perps, derivatives. Hello, right? Taking it, bridging complex stuff out of there is going to be important. So that's ideal for things like perps, derivatives, staking rewards for issued tokens. This is going to allow for a measure of staking on the XRPL. That would be interesting. Again, it's not going to affect Flare networks because Flare can just do the same thing with the stake tokens on the XRPL, bridge it over to Flare DeFi, right? Which is important as well. So that's ideal for things like perps, derivatives, staking rewards for issued tokens, or bridge controllers that need tight integration with XRPL primitives. Interesting, very cool. That's just the one I like. Institutional appeal with the XRPL's performance ethos. The design priorities explicitly include minimal impact to payments, slant performance, and UNL votable limits to prevent runaway compute, i.e., keep the layer one fast while enabling programmability. That's consistent with the XRPL's production payments focus. So that's great. And I think just as great is this, the better DX, which is the developer experience. On-chain ABI events and explicit RPCs are the kind of basics that make explorers, indexers, wallets, and primes like Ripple Prime much easier to wire up than ad hoc patterns. In other words, these institutions, projects, whatever, may have their own set of developers. They'll be able to tie into this XRPL and create, integrate whatever they need to do. Easier, simpler. That's important for the XRPL because the XRPL needs to go up into the right of the network of the network adoption curve, right? It needs to perform in Metcalfe's law. It's important. Number 4, strategic synergy with Ripple's stack. If the Ripple dollar keeps scaling, by the way, up 38%, nearly 39% in the last month, last 30 days. How has the market been in the last 30 days? And the Ripple dollar market cap went over $1 billion because it had a 38, nearly 39% increase in the last 30 days, most of it on Ethereum. So strategic synergy with Ripple stack. If the Ripple dollar keeps scaling and Ripple Prime pushes institutional flows, which is going to happen, it's just a matter of time. Native contracts could manage treasury logic, settlement routines, collateralization, controlled distribution, or compliance workflows on the XRPL itself, on the ledger. Not going around chasing banks who don't want to do anything on chain, who want the friction. That, my friends, is optionality. Ripple didn't have on the L1 before. They didn't have it. That's why David Schwartz just said in a recent little thing, I'll play it for you, a little clip, where he admitted him and the team should have moved to this measure of programmability sooner on the ledger, right? That's pretty cool. All right. So we got to understand that it's still a proposal. And like any XRPL amendment, it would need the usual governance path. before mainnet. But I'm still pumped about it. If XLS-101 ships, it's a big deal. Layer 1 programmability that respects the XRPL's design, which is speed, payments, native features. And I always like to say moving anything of value in 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny, So it's a big deal. Layer 1 programmability that respects XRPL's design instead of bolting on an EVM. It won't replace the EVM sidechain for Solidity devs, but it unlocks XRPL native dApps. Massive. All these things on here wanting to do some stuff on the XRPL, not able to do it. They're going to be able to do it and participate in real DeFi. Okay. All right. So it unlocks XRPL native dApps, right? In parentheses, it says bridges structured escrows, on-chain credit logic, protocol controllers. Like, and this is going to just make the lending protocol, I think, which was, I think is XLS 6060, even more of a monster. Yeah. So that can directly drive usage of the XRPL's DEX, the AMM, and IOU rails. So says for my thesis, right, which is I've been talking about for a while now, for your thesis around institutional rails and lenses, plus the Ripple dollar, plus the Ripple Prime, XLS-101 is the missing programmable glue at the layer 1. I am pumped up about that. I'm pumped up about it. I'm pumped up. I am pumped up. I am pumped up about it. Right? Because this is, the beginning of the XRPL going up into the right of the network adoption curve in a big time way. And I think, again, this is going to be big because it adds to the tooling for their potential customers. So it's going to be institutions and allowing them to do more things on the XRPL. So this is going to be a big deal. And I'm sure it'll pass. I say that tongue in cheek because sometimes the people voting, I don't know. It is interesting. So it is interesting to say the least. I'll just say that. So hopefully that'll get through. I don't know what's going on with the chat. It is not showing that you guys are here. Yeah, that's odd. I don't know why it's not showing it, but it ain't showing it, fam. I know you guys are here, but it is not showing that you guys are here. That kind of blows. I appreciate you guys checking in. So again, big deal in my view. Let me get this thing here real quick from David Schwartz. David Schwartz. Let me see. Where is that? Let's see. Then I'll get into some other interesting. Here it is. All right. I'm going to share the sound here as well. Vet did this post here. I don't know where this talk was, but when it took place, it feels like recently. David Schwartz, this is Vet's post. He didn't mention the most important part here, but anyway, David on smart contracts on the XRPL ledger. What happened there? Point number one, we don't need full general purpose smart contracts. We don't need to be the best smart contract platform. I've heard him said this plenty of times. Just a little bit of programmability via the smart contracts. Point two that David made in his talk, not in this what I'm going to share here, but it boosts native features. And that's the most important part. It makes the native features better, which is massive. Right? It says here, if you can't connect native features together, they are not as useful. Exactly. Safety, small steps, no full-blown programmability, but measured steps towards this goal gives us the best real-world feedback. 100%, David. 100%. because how limited smart contracts XLS-101 is in design, it will allow for large group of amendments to be not protocol changes. Okay, not so amendments, but they don't change in the protocol. That's a huge gain in protocol security for all actors using XRPL, including banks and normal users alike. Normal users, yeah. All right, let's take a listen to what Joel Katz, David Schwartz has to say here.
I do think Ripple probably should have prioritized smart contracts at layer 1 sooner.
Oh, Ripple. Ripple should have prioritized. All right, so let's listen to that again.
I do think Ripple probably should have prioritized smart contracts at layer 1 sooner. We didn't. We were more skeptical, and I think the big thing that we missed was that small steps would be useful. That we didn't have to be the best platform for smart contracts, and people would still be able to use those smart contracts both to distinguish their features, implement their business logic, and to tie existing features together. You know, an AMM is great, but if it's not connected to anything else, it's not as great. It's nice to be able to sort of connect things together with business logic, distinguish functions. You know, because today, developers, if they want to build in the XRP ledger space, they either have to build XRP ledger features, which has a massive barrier to entry, and then get them accepted by amendment, which is extremely difficult.
Yep.
And it has to be something with mass appeal. Or basically, all they can build are wallets and user interfaces. Now, wallets and user interfaces are important, but it's hard to build a business around a wallet or a user interface.
Correct.
And if you can distinguish your actual financial products on chain, that makes it a much better experience and a much better platform for them to develop on.
Yep. So there it is. Shout out to David for, acknowledging that, they could have moved on this sooner, but the bottom line is they are moving on it. That's the bottom line. They are moving on it. And so, and they're doing it in a smart, measured way, which I think is really, really, really good. So yeah, guys, you guys are not showing up in the chat. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why, but I appreciate you guys checking in here for sure. So that's a big, big, big deal coming from David Schwartz. And I think this is a big time unlock, especially from the developer front, especially that. So let me remind you guys that there is a proposal out for vote. Let me share the screen real quick. On Flare, it's important. This proposal is actually live to vote on, FIP 14 and STP 11. I forgot to do the STP is Songbird, shoot. You go to portal.flare.network, portal.flare, let me pull that up. Portal.flare.network. And you connect your wallet, you just go here to voting. So there's a Flare vote, and then you would go to Songbird, which I have to do, go to Songbird and vote on the Songbird proposal. So this new proposal is going to be on Songbird, obviously, and this Flare as well. Make sure you guys vote on that. It's important to do so. I do want to remind you guys that the Flare stack is deepening, so you understand that. We're going to have StratX, and we're going to have Firelight. Is that? Did that not? I don't know what happened to that. But anyway, I had a post from Hugo. That is so weird. I thought I had it. But it's probably find another way, easier way. Man, that is so strange. maybe I'm overlooking it. I want to read the exact post from Flare. There it is. The stack deepens this month. More ways to put XRP to work on the horizon, and I believe one of those. We all know December 3rd, that is going to be launching. We all know that's Firelight, but I believe this platform here is also going to be added to the stack. It's from StratX. It's a cutting edge, aggregated, tokenized DeFi strategies coming soon to a chain near you. I believe that that chain is Flare Networks. Uh, so yeah, that is really, really, really awesome for us as XRP holders as well to be able to do more things in DeFi. I think it's going to be awesome. So what's going on, Lions Den? Daniel, how are you, my friend? Yeah, this chat for some reason, I don't know what is it just did not it did not update. Did not update. But yeah, Codius is a big deal, but that seems to be a shell thing. I don't know what this WASM and this measured programmability is, but in and of itself, this is going to be great for the XRPL. And I think this is the thing that is it's needed, this measured programmability. I was very worried about them doing some kind of EVM thing that would just slow down, bog down. And also my thought was we got XRP holders now. We got a way for the holders of this asset to earn yield, to build uh, cash flow, monthly cash flow, right? In addition to growing their bag of XRP, we want both things. We want an ability to purchase the XRP because it's going to be a quite highly valuable asset in this new financial system. But we wanted a way to be able to grow that in DeFi, right? And we wanted to be able to create cash flow, right? So we want two things, not just using dirty, nasty fiat to buy more XRP, but also be able to earn more DeFi, more XRP in DeFi. And from that, create cash flow. So that we're in a position that we can be a lender and a borrower if we want to be, and we can create cash flow because the asset XRP is being recognized in the world of DeFi as a valuable asset. Flare brought that to us and gave us that and continues to give us that. This is important, massively important. And now the XRPL is going to have a way to give it to institutions and ourselves. So as well. So I think that lending protocol that they're going to get out, if they get it out, is going to be massive. So for as a holder, again, as a holder of a valuable asset, this is what we want. We want more optionality, right? So this is going to be absolutely massive. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way in. That would be awesome. That's right, Lions Den. DeFi is massive. Cash flow is king. We have to view ourselves as the same versions of Evernorth. 100%. We hold valuable assets. Now we want to be able to put those valuable assets to work. And with the vast majority of our XRP not having to sell if we don't want to, right? So maybe vast majority for some people might want to sell 75% and keep 75% and participate in DeFi with 50% of the 25% that they keep. The bottom line is we wanted more options to us as XRP holders, and Flare delivered on that. Ripple is building out something that's going to deliver on that as well. This is why I say that Flare Networks is further along in adding value, bringing value to XRP holders than anything else out there. It's further along in that journey. They committed 1000% to that process, to that journey, making that a reality for us. So there's that. So I'm excited about this measured programmability that is in alpha testing. It's a proposal. It is XLS-101. And Mayuka reminded me that it's non-EVM. So this is pretty cool. So I was wrong. Right, we're going to get this. This is going to be pretty cool. And the fact that it's making the native primitives of the XRPL, these features, better is awesome. Right? So this is a big deal. This is a really, really big deal. So yeah, this is massive for the XRPL. I'm excited as an XRP holder. So it's very cool for David to admit that they should have moved forward on this sooner. But the bottom line is cool. They didn't, but they are now, and that is awesome. That is uh that is awesome. So I'm excited for the future, man. We hold some value assets institutions don't hold yet, wanting to hold, right? I'm gonna do a video, I think later, tomorrow maybe or later today. I just think what's going on in the market right now with JP Morgan is disgusting, and but it's typical JP Morgan behavior. So there's that. But yeah, we're going to cover that. It's the that plot in the scheme has been revealed. It was a direct attack on crypto by JP Morgan and the banks, the banking cartel. They don't want Bitcoin to win. They certainly do not want Michael Saylor to win. And they 10,000% don't want you or I to win. The channel was built on old money, doesn't want you to win. And it's clearly showing itself here, but that's okay. We got the solution though, and they can't stop it, right? Nothing stops this train. So, yeah, interesting post I saw today that institutions are not adopting Bitcoin. They are, um, what is the word? What is the word? Absorbing it. Yeah, that's a big difference in adopting it. Got to pay attention. These ETFs are not what they're sounding like. It's got to pay big time attention to that. I've always said that I don't think BlackRock is anyone's friend. I don't think that they're out looking out for the 99% of the population. They're looking out for their customers who are not the same as you and I. They're different customers. So understand that. So they're different than you and I. It's important that we note that, recognize that, and plan accordingly, which means we got to hold our own assets. We got to be able to participate in this new financial system in a non-custodial, safe, and scalable manner. It's important, massively important. So, yeah, I can't wait to do that. Rand Neuner did a video about this corruption and attack by JP Morgan as well. I haven't watched the video. I only watched a couple minutes of it to understand what it is. Because I mean, what else would you expect from that dude over at JP Morgan and large banks? What else would you expect? Why are they trying to block Ripple from moving into this space and getting that charter? It's a reason for that because they know that Ripple can provide the services without um, the friction, which is the friction is ultimately the goose that lays the golden egg for the Citibanks of the world, and JP Morgans of the world. So, all right, fam, I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you guys checking in. The XRPL is going to get this measured programmability native to the L1 to the XRPL, non-EVM. That's a big deal. Shout out to my Yuka and David Schwartz and the team over there, RippleX Dev, for getting this done, getting it to the proposal stage. Is a big deal. It's a big deal. So, yeah, it's a really big deal. I'm excited for that. So again, don't forget to vote. Portal.flare.network for this proposal. It's gonna make Flare networks and what it does exponentially better. So it's important that they value your vote. So use your vote and vote. Right? Don't hang out on the sidelines. All right, fam. There it is. I appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor. If you didn't get a chance to hit the like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That would be awesome. And again, we're in a mad dash to get to 10,000 subs this month. I know we can get there with your help. Will you help us get there? All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. Do me a favor and comment on this video. Do you like this approach to this measured programmability to the XRPL? And if you do, let me know why. I would definitely appreciate that for sure. So don't forget to ring the notification bell after you subscribe so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.